Buongiorno. Do current world situations find you clenching your sphincter tighter than a skeeter's ass in a nosedive? At the Little Peanuts That Could, the podcast and the cartoon series, we think we have the answers and solutions to protecting and saving world democracies and our climate, and thus relaxing your uptight sphincter. Welcome to the relaunch of the Little Peanuts That Could podcast and cartoon series, including our sketch called Between the Two Peanuts with my Swami Ashfaq. We're currently relaunching our first 10 shows, plus the best of Swami Ashfaq's quotes and the best of our funniest and hardest hitting commercials. Hi there, folks. Governor Stonewall Youngkin of the great state of Virginia, also known as the Virginia. I just want y'all to know that even though 79.8% of you, my fellow Virginians, with and without Virginians, even though 79.8% of you are against my veto of that wokey bill that would have kept me, big government, Jesus, and whoever we appoint out of Virginians. The good Lord disagrees with your opinions and votes. You see, I done prayed about it, and I was told to watch over all the big and little Virginians in Virginia.
But wait, there's more.
Folks, some damn wokey teacher down in Florida, that summon a bitch, done showed a bunch of your little babies a naked man named David with a rock-hard Magic Johnson just a-staring in their angelic little faces. My God, America, they call it art, when we all damn sure know God does not want a bunch of rock-hard dangling darlings and beef jerkies being looked at by our children. This is why I, Governor Stonewall Youngkin, a.k.a. the Virginian, I am asking all my conservative supporters to join us after Sunday services once a month by bringing your best assault weapons to our monthly jerky shoot. That's right, folks. One Sunday every month, we need you patrolling your streets and libraries with your assault weapons. And whenever you see any damn thing that you think is pornographic, like a rock-hard chowder howitzer, or, God forbid, a pair of exposed Virginia lips on a statue or in a book, y'all just fire off a clip or three to rid this country of them pornographies. Now, as always, if you're thinking of a great place to attend college or open a new business, try Virginia, where we like to say,
Virginia's for breeders, and if your Virginia ain't dead, we'll keep your Virginia bred.
And for all you wokies, you best butter your biscuit and call me a butthole, 'cause there's a new sheriff in town. Y'all come back now, yeah?
Breaking news, folks. Italian-talking penis launches pod across world and announces plan to save democracy with George Clooney's tasty little penis. I don't know about you folks, but I gotta believe Brad Pitt and friends are gonna have some fun with this one. And now, let us introduce to you the Little Penis That Could podcast and cartoon series. Bon appetito, my friends. All the characters are from my dreams and should not be viewed by anyone.
Hello from outer space.
Buongiorno. My name is Dr. Gino Bartali.
You want to explain yourself?
I am the host of the new podcast and the cartoon series the little peanuts that could. Our shows will address, in many unconventional and humorous ways, the full magnitude of the issues facing us all across the world today. We will do this while providing hope, humor, and humble, aspirational ways in which democracy can be promoted and grown worldwide. In other words, we will attempt to save world democracy, establish the world's first international online nation, the Ion Nation, and we hope to accomplish all of this by getting you to join us in pranking gorgeous George Clooney's into selling his tasty little peanuts to save world democracies.
It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
But wait, there is more. We will set the tone on how to save democracies. This will be accomplished by embracing the power of a funk.
Man, I really dig that acid rock.
My name is Dr. Gino Bartali, and we at The Little Peanuts That Could are asking you to join us as we attempt to funk up democracies.
There's something to be said for a deviant lifestyle.
Ciao, Bella. Wow, folks. This sounds kind of fun. Before we get serious with our introduction to Maharishi Matthew from the Church of the Untethered and Tasty Peanuts, here's a word from our proposed sponsor, Gorgeous George's Intercontinentally Ballistic and Hypersonic, audaciously tasty, juicy, and nutritious little peanuts of positivities.
Buongiorno. I am Dr. Gino Bartali, also known as the Italian Peanuts Shaft. Today's show is brought to you by our proposed founding sponsor, Gorgeous George Clooney's Intercontinentally Ballistic and Hypersonic, audaciously tasty, juicy, and nutritious little peanuts of positivities. Folks, we live in some crazy times. Perhaps you're in the military, anywhere in the world, feeling more confused than a fart in a fan factory, as the former Commander-in-Chief and the Republican Party of America refuse to return or explain the theft of the most important and classified top-secret materials in the free world. As they do this, they are placing your life and the future lives of your families and the citizens of the free world at risk. We know you're depressed, as the supposed champions of our militaries and democracy abandon both. If watching, 35% of America and Americans turned their backs on our own militaries and on democracy. If this has you confused and depressed, all you need to do is simply pop Gorgeous George's Intercontinentally Ballistic and Hypersonic, audaciously tasty, juicy, and nutritious little peanuts of positivities into your mouth, and in moments, seconds even, waves of positivities will be coming all over you. Simply visit thelittlepenisthatcould.com and register to become one of the early birds, hoping to get your hands on Gorgeous George's audaciously tasty, juicy, and nutritious little peanuts of positivities once we have completed our prank. Now remember, if we succeed, 100% of profits from his tasty little peanuts will benefit charities and causes that you help choose. P.S. If you have questions about this prank, we urge you to imagine the words that the John F. Kennedy would say to Gorgeous George Clooney's if he were alive today. Ask not, what the world and your nation can do for your tasty little penis, but rather ask what your tasty little penis can do for the free world and your nation. Stay hungry, my friends, and share the penis. Ciao, bella.
And now, we introduce you to Between Two Penis. Buongiorno, folks, and welcome to the very first edition of Between the Two Penis, where I, Dr. Gino Bartali, interview various penises in the discussion of how to save and promote worldwide democracies. On today's show, our very first show, we are so proud to introduce to you Maharishi Matthew from the Church of the Untethered and the Tasty Penis. It's nice to see you, Matthew. Thanks for dropping by.
Tasty penis.
Maharishi Matthew, it is so nice to see you, my friend. And welcome to Between the Two Penis. I know that you had expressed some interest or questions regarding the idea of preserving and saving world democracies with international online nations, ion nations, as the way of uniting the world around democracy. What questions would you like to ask me? Between Two Penis.
What is an international, online, democratic nation?
Maharishi Matthew, we at the littlepenisthatcould.com only offer ideas so as to inspire the growth and progress of democracy. We can do nothing but share ideas that may be considered. Our only recommendation is that the movement abide by the teachings of famed futurist Buckminster Fuller when he said, "Dare to be naive. We are intended to be architects of the future, not its victims. Don't fight forces. Use them. You never change things from within. To change something, build a new model that makes the previous model obsolete." At the Little Penis That Could, we propose that the youth of the world, women of the world, people of color of the world, and others unite online as independent yet aligned democratic nations. We also propose these independent yet aligned nations organize and govern from universities worldwide, aligned to grow and to protect democracy. We realize that democracy only grows or it dies. Democracy is never stable or stagnant. It is only vibrant or dying. Only we can make it vibrant. We believe that this alternative democratic structure, or whatever model the youth of the world and others choose, we believe it can comprise their own economy, society, and governments, which ensure self-determination for more of us world citizens each and every day. Maharishi Matthew, we believe that the world's youth and others must assume and they must demand a place of power and influence in their futures. They must impose their will upon the obsolete, corrupted current models.
That is sufficient for now. Who shall comprise these international online democratic nations?
Maharishi Matthew, all who embrace democracy as both a gift and a responsibility. They shall choose themselves as the citizens of their international online nations. At thelittlepenisthatcould.com, we envision a world of online nations where citizens are both committed to and yet not limited by the physical land and borders of traditional citizenships. Leaders of these international democratic online nations that cannot be bombed or invaded. They will be the examples of a vigorous democracy all across the world. In one example, a gay black man from Australia and perhaps a straight Jewish woman from Ukraine, they may unite to be citizens of the Ion Jewish nation, the Ion Gay Nation, the Ion Peoples of Color Nation, and Australia as well as Ukraine's international online nations. These citizens of international online democratic nations, they shall combine their social, their economic, and their political power and influence it. Rather than broad and expansive targeting and influence, they may choose specific, limited, yet unequivocal targets so as to demonstrate vigorous democratic ideals and implementations of democracy. As this occurs, the world's youth and climate activists shall earn, demand, and appropriate their rightful places of power and influence, leading the next generations as the champions of democracy and self-determinations all across the world.
That is sufficient for now. Why should someone desire to become a citizen of an Ion nation?
Maharishi Matthew, there are but two choices. You either get democracy or authoritarianisms. Those are the only forms of human governance and society. You either get free and fair democracy in forms of collaborative self-determinations, or you get authoritarian control and unfair forms of dominion where self-determination is largely absent. Right now in Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, and other authoritarian nations, their youth are conscripted and sent to fight and die in wars, created simply to empower their authoritarian leaders. These authoritarian nations must maintain dominion over groups like women, Jews, people of color, indigenous peoples, climate activists, the youth of the world, and many others. They must maintain this dominion so as to remain in power. Most of all, they must weaken and destroy hope and the aspiration of self-determination. Democracy, the freedom of self-determination, is the only way for the oppressed and the marginalized to maintain self-determinations. There is no other choice.
That is sufficient for now. When shall these ion nations be birthed?
Maharishi Matthew. Our World Online. Is now our world everywhere. Life online must transition the state of a virtual realities to a manageable state of online reality, online truth. Only then, when we control our online realities via various lenses and filters that we control and influence, and that are not imposed upon us, only when we hold the keys to our online environments can we practice informed self-determinations. At thelittlepenisthatcould.com, we propose that the world's youth, people of color, women, indigenous peoples, Jews, LGBTQ, and all of the other lovers of democracy, we propose that we all unite, align, and govern, both online and possibly via universities worldwide. In this way, we can all be integrating collaboratively with our local business, social, religious, and political fellow lovers of democracy. In pursuit of this self-determination, we also propose that the world join us today in convincing gorgeous George Clooney's to sell his audaciously tasty little peanuts to fund charities and democracies all across the world. We at thelittlepenisthatcould.com, we believe that ion nations are inevitable, and thus today is when we should found them. What say you, Maharishi Matthew?
That is sufficient for now.
We hope you enjoyed the meditations and the syncopations of this edition of Between the Two Peanuts on the Little Penis That Could podcast and cartoon series. Join us next week for the where and how of our plan to save world democracies by founding international, online, democratic nations. Thank you so much to Maharishi Matthew. would you like to say anything to the audience before we see you next week, Maharishi?
Dear, gorgeous George Clooney, ask not what the world and your country can do for your penis, but rather ask what your audaciously tasty little penis can do for the world and your country. Stay hungry, my friend, and share the penis.
Buongiorno. Do you have an itchy penis? Would you like to save democracy and our planet? My name is Dr. Gino Bartali, and this is my Swami, Ashafak. On our show, The Little Penis That Could, podcast and a cartoon series, we not only have a cure for your itchy penis, but we also think we can save democracy and our climate by pranking gorgeous George Clooney's into selling his tasty little penis for charities. Stay hungry, my friends, and share the penis. Ciao, Bella. If you enjoy our shows and mission, please support our Patreon. Grazie.